What's going on, Muscle Monsters? Align Gonzalez here, and today I want to talk about how many times per week you should train each muscle group for maximum hypertrophy. Okay? Now, what I'm about to tell you does not mean that doing a bro split or body part split that only allows you to train each muscle group once per week is not going to allow you to build muscle. Obviously, we know that's not true. Obviously, we know plenty of people who follow this type of training and get amazing results. Okay? But because we're talking about maximizing or being more quote unquote optimal, I think it's important to know a few things or consider them at the least. Okay? Number one, the rate of protein synthesis, right? So whenever we train a muscle group, we raise protein synthesis for 24 to 48 hours roughly, then it drops back to baseline. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you a chart, okay? This chart shows protein synthesis elevation for a muscle group. Let's say your chest, right? You did chest on Monday, elevated protein synthesis for about 24 to 48 hours. And then it drops back to baseline, and then it doesn't raise again until you train your chest again the following week, right? This is what somebody on a bro split or body part split will experience, okay? Now, let's look at somebody who trains their chest twice per week, right? What happens is they are elevating protein synthesis for 24 to 48 hours, it drops back to baseline briefly, and then it's time to train your chest again, where you're elevating protein synthesis again, and you're spending more time in that week actually building muscle tissue, okay? Now this could go the same for a full body workout, right? Let's say somebody who trains their chest, legs, and back, each once per week, okay? This is a chart that shows elevated protein synthesis for each muscle group. One color will be chest, for example, one will be back, and one will be legs. All right, but now let's compare that to somebody who follows a full body routine and this is just an example. It doesn't necessarily have to be a full body routine, just something a little bit more high frequency. But the example again is going to be full body. The example you see now, this is somebody on a full body routine who's training each muscle group 2 to 3 times a week. You can see the huge difference in elevated protein synthesis. The person who's training more frequently is spending much more time in the week building muscle in comparison to the person who is on that bro split or just training each muscle group once per week. All right? So that's the first and main thing, right? That's why frequency in your training is so important. And now for the second point, a point that not a lot of people make when discussing high frequency versus high volume, okay? Now I'm gonna give you an example, all right? Let's say we have the guy over here who trains his chest once per week. Well, in that workout, he's going to do about 12 sets. And again, this is just an example. All right, the first 4 sets he does, he's going to be pretty primed and potentiated, right? He's going to be able to push at about 85 to 100% of his effort, okay? What's gonna happen as the further he gets into that chest workout, the less potentiated he's gonna be, so that percentage is going to drop, right? And by the time we get to the 6th or 8th set, he's pretty much done for, or at least the chest is, and so you're not going to be able to be pushing as much as you could, say for example, when you were fresh at the beginning of the workout, right? So now we'll take all that total volume that he did in that workout with his 12 sets, okay? Now let's look at a guy who takes those same 12 sets, but breaks it up into 3 days, all right? Here's the difference. Every time this guy goes into the gym and hits his chest, all of his chest work is going to be done in a potentiated state where he's hitting in that 85 to 100% range. right? So if you equate the total volume he did in the week versus the 12 sets or the volume from the 12 sets this guy did in a day, this is going to be much higher because, again, he was able to put all his chest training in his workout where he is fully potentiated and able to push at that 85 to 100% range. All right, so those are the two things, right? More increased protein synthesis throughout the week, so you're spending more time building muscle tissue and more overall workload in the week, so faster progress in that area. So that's pretty much it, guys. Very simple stuff, but it's something that a lot of people negate, mainly because we see a lot of big buff guys who do these body part splits and they've gotten great results. And again, you can certainly go that route and get great results, but if we're talking about trying to maximize your efforts, then these are two things that you must consider. Another thing is, it doesn't have to be 3 times per week that you're training each muscle group. What I recommend is, if you're a beginner training full body, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, that's perfectly fine. And as you get further into your training career, maybe 2 times a week would be just as good. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, click the like button below. If you want to grab my Mass in a Flash guide, it's completely free. Link below. Go there, put your name and your email address. You'll get instant access to that, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.